Hello and welcome back to Build Propulsion Lab at Devox Belgium 2024. Last day of the conference, still tons of content coming up from you live from Antwerp. My first interview of the day is with Maarten. Welcome.
Thank you.
And so Maarten, it should have been Brian Demers who should sit here and interview you about Maven.
Really? Why?
Because Brian, for us at Gradle, he is the Maven guy.
Yeah.
Right? It's I wouldn't say awkward, but it's at least strange that people with Gradle, here you go, are talking about Maven. But as you all might see in our Gradle booth in different conferences, we have this great sign that says Gradle loves Maven.
For sure. Seen it.
And the reason for that is basically this: the Build Propulsion Lab and our focus on developer productivity. And whatever helps developer productivity, we're all for it. And Maven, being a very big player in developer productivity in general, your ability to skip tests. I'm just kidding. Your ability.
Gradle has that too, right?
But. Funny story. Okay, now we're going off the script here. Off the script.
Already, in 1 minute.
We didn't even start.
Yeah.
I asked ChatGPT on how to improve build speed. And it gave me a bunch of valid tips for Gradle. Stuff like, hey, enable caching, enable parallel testing, and what's not. For Maven, the first advice was skip tests.
No way.
I promise you, I have the screenshot.
Oh no, I'm so sorry to hear this.
It was terrible, but it was fun.
Yeah, okay, it will speed up your build, but I'm not sure you want to do that to speed up your build.
It defeats the purpose of the build, right? The idea of the build to give you more feedback.
Yeah, to tell you made a mistake before you actually push it and see the effect in production.
Exactly. Yeah. Now, okay, so the reason why we are talking about Maven and why I'm personally excited is Maven 4. And Maven 4, it took a little bit of time to get out, but that's Maven.
We're still working on it, right?
That's the Maven way. That's the Maven way. Let's make it easy.
Let's make sure we ship quality content.
Touche. But also, I think the main is, let's make sure that we don't break too much for developers who don't want to deal with build upgrades. Yeah. Right, build tool upgrades.
Absolutely.
I think that's kind of the main idea.
That is one very important aspect of Maven 4.
I can completely respect that.
And in fact, I did a deep dive this Monday afternoon, and literally our second slide was TLDR, your existing build will still run unless you've been ignoring warnings for over 10 years. Then they will probably become an error at some point. And I then invited people, if this is all you wanted to know, you can leave. I'll pretend I didn't see it. Luckily, nobody left. But yeah, that is one of the main focuses. But it's not only about your build and your developer productivity that we don't want to break. In fact, and you know that because you already said it, Gradle loves Maven. The whole Java ecosystem basically stands on Maven Central, and the fact that we have like this pom.xml that we upload there, right? And I mean, a question that we get a lot of times is, hey, can we actually add this or that to the pom.xml? And the answer has always been, no, we cannot, because there's so many other tools that depend on exactly this version of the schema. So yeah, sure, it's XML, it's extensible, we can add a few tags, but then what will Gradle do? What will Ivy do? What will IntelliJ do? What will Renovate do? We can't afford that.
Absolutely. No, I respect that, and it's the thing with build is most of the developers just want it to work.
Yeah.
They don't want to get into the details, they don't want to get into the weeds, they don't want to, but marginal improvement over, wow, now I need to learn all this stuff together. Yeah. I completely understand it and respect that. And in that regard, Maven, stability is a virtue, absolutely. Yeah. But there is a hidden downside of this, and that's I can upgrade to Maven 4 and not take any advantages of the new features of Maven 4 because I didn't touch it. I don't even know that it's a new version.
Yeah.
And that's a shame because there are definitely very, very significant features in Maven 4 that improve dramatically developer productivity.
Yeah.
And I think the only way for developers to even know they are there is this.
This and people that talk about Maven, like Robert, like Karl-Heinz, like myself, and actually send the message, hey, this is coming up to you, it's coming your way. No, we don't know when, because when it's ready, that's when it will be on your machine. But be sure that you know that there are new features that you can leverage. We fixed a few long-standing issues that, in fact, have become so obnoxious that people get used to workarounds, not because they make sense, but because, well, ancient history tells us we need to use Maven this way. And I think the most famous example of this is the ubiquitous Maven clean install. You know Andres, right? He has this huge...
I know his quest.
Yeah, his quest against Maven clean install. And I'm definitely on the same page there, because this is in fact the key example of something's broken, we find a workaround, and within a few years we don't question the workaround anymore, but we take it for granted that this is the way. Folks, it's not the way. We can do better, and we will let you do better with Maven 4.
So let's make it very, very practical. Give us what people need to do once Maven 4 is out and they upgrade it. What changes worth making, which are obviously easy because it's Maven, intuitive, and will improve developer productivity just by turning on the usage of those features.
One thing I'm really excited about, and that's definitely going to save you work, especially if you're in a multi-module project, so a Maven project with all kind of child modules and such, is that if you have a dependency from one child to another, now you need to specify it's this group ID, this artifact ID, this version. But that doesn't make sense, because the project is literally sitting next to me, like you're sitting next to me. Yep. I can look at you and see your version, but no, I need to specify that I want this particular version of that child module, that sibling module. And we're removing that restriction. So what we're saying, if this dependency of mine lives in the same project, we know the version, we can omit it. And you might say, well, is that worth a new major version? Well, of course it's not. But that really brings us back to what I said before about the ecosystem stability, because I think, and that's something that developers will hardly notice, but it's really fundamental to Maven itself, is that we say we have this pond.xml that you have in version control. Right now, it's the same as that we upload to Maven Central, and with Maven 4 it will no longer be. And because we decouple that, we can remain ecosystem stability and still give you the new features you're looking for, like shorter syntax in your pom.xml, like using new attributes or elements in your XML, without the whole ecosystem needing to be aware of that before we can actually move on. That was really keeping us back over the last decade.
I think
literally.
one of the downside, I'd say shortcomings of pom.xml is that, at least for me, is that it mixes two different abstractions into one.
Yeah.
It's a descriptor of an artifact, and it's also instructions of build.
Exactly, well said. It's a build recipe, which we now call the build pom, and there's like a kind of here's what you're getting. You're getting my library, which depends on... Yes, exactly. And oh, by the way, it also depends on this other library, so you better make sure that's also on your class path. And that's what we're going to call from now on the consumer POM, which is going to be shorter, more concise, and all that information about how it was produced, who produced it, using what preconditions, and what. It's all gone, because as a consumer, I simply couldn't care less. What I want to know is this the artifact I'm looking for, and what else do I need? That's all.
Absolutely. So I think this is a huge move forward for us as a community, and because obviously without you doing it, we didn't have any other option to do it, except of trying reinventing Maven Central, which obviously not going to happen.
Which is quite a hard thing to do, I guess.
Exactly, exactly.
Yeah, go
I
talk to some Sonato folks.
I might know a thing or two about that, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, gotcha.
Yeah, some terrible flashbacks. Yes.
Yeah.
Back to our discussion. What else can people expect, like, of this? Hey, let's not forget to turn that on now when we have Maven 4.
A few other things, and if you're talking about developer productivity, I think these are really cool things, and they don't necessarily come with Maven 4. That's a fun fact, are that we are having two recently developments in the Maven ecosystem, which is a Maven daemon, and well, just like Gradle loves Maven, Maven loves Gradle, because that was just a brilliant idea.
And the wrapper.
Wrapper, same thing, but that is not per se. I don't really see that as a big shift in productivity, while a build daemon certainly is. And how about that build cache, which is also
another nice idea.
But both of them, and that's the funny part, don't even require you to use Maven 4. You can already do that with Maven 3.9. Yep. I have a different talk. Unfortunately, it wasn't accepted for DevOps. But if you Google, you can probably find that. And that really goes into detail about how to use the Maven daemon, what Maven build cache can do for you, and those are really two things to look into if you're looking to improve your developer productivity using Maven, whether it is the upcoming 4.0 or even the current 3.9 branches.
This is that's kind of things that I definitely wanted to hear. So existing Maven, don't need to do much. Like updating the version, nothing will break. That's exactly the promise of Maven.
Yeah.
And then you turn on the cache, you turn on the daemon, and without doing anything, your local builds will be faster.
Yeah.
Amen for that. That's exactly what we wanna do.
That's what we want to see as developers, right?
Right, exactly. And if you wanna check and verify that your builds are really faster, all you need to do is run a build scan, which is a free service out there from Gradle to the community. Works with Maven 100%, and you will get the info about your build, very detailed, including how Maven cache and Maven wrapper sped things up, and this is all like it's all. Yeah. The thing is, Maven, Gradle, build scan, it's all free, it's all there. Just use it, folks. Just go ahead and make your lives better. We know that you are kind of hesitant of getting into builds because builds are nasty and it's not your domain and it's hard to understand.
Often there's like this one person in the team, right?
Yeah,
and if the build's broken, it's like, Bob. Alice,
go fix it.
Can you please have a look into this? Yeah. And that we should definitely move away there. I mean, it's everybody's responsibility and not just that one person in the team.
And we also understand where it comes from, right? Yeah. People don't want to learn an entire, very complicated domain. It is insane how complicated it is, and people don't want to get in it because they have their hands full. But here you go. With the existing tools, without any or almost any additional knowledge, you can have better build. And I think this is the message that we all try to convey in all those conversations. Yeah. So folks, pay attention, enable your build caches, whatever Gradle Maven, enable your daemons, whatever Gradle Maven, use build scans, whatever Maven Gradle. We're all here for you and your productivity.
That's right, amen to that.
And don't run Maven clean install.
Don't run Maven clean install, gotcha.
Do MV and verify instead.
Yeah.
If you want to hear it 20 times a day, subscribe to Andres X, and you will hear it 20 times a day.
Yes, including memes.
Including in every shape possible to convey you this very important message.
You can even summon him by just tagging him in an existing discussion on social media and say, did I hear Andres here? And then he probably chimes in with yet another meme.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. Brilliant.
Folks, do the right thing with your build, improve your productivity. Maarten, thank you very much. It was a pleasure.
Pleasure.
And with this amazing opening for our days of interviews, stay tuned for more from Build Proposition Lab coming up soon.